Hey, that's right. That's right. The courthouse. We live. Get in here, you frickin' goblins. Get in here, you frickin' nutcases. Copying. Link is posted. It is pinned. If you want some, come get some. Better tweet it out to the masses that we going live. I am tweeting the link. If you want some, mother, come get some. You want the challenge? Click the link. This is an open forum. We can talk about whatever you'd like. Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you so much for hopping in. If you want to be on, if you want to get in here, that link is available. Press that link. I will let you in. This is an open forum. We could talk about whatever the we want, baby. Welcome to the stream. So sorry I'm late. You ever have those days where it's just the worst and everything about it is the worst? It's kind of been that day, but you know what? This is what I like to do. I love talking hoops. So we're here, baby. And you know what? That's exactly what we're going to do. So be sure to get in here. I'm tweeting the link out to this right now. How's everybody's nights going? I haven't even been able to keep up with the games on tonight, so I got to fix that too. Tweeting the link right now. And I did post the StreamYard link. So if you want to hop in the stream and you want to debate basketball, this is your chance. This is your opportunity. You want some? Come get some. That's what I'm saying, man. So hold on while my camera and all that crap. All right, we're back. If you want it, oh, come get it. First thing I want to talk about tonight, man, looking at the landscape of these playoffs, the more and more I see my guy Chet Holmgren play basketball, the more and more I see guys play this, the more I want to see Chet Holmgren play basketball in a Detroit Pistons uniform, man. The guy is special. He's talented, he's lanky, he's versatile. He has the ability to defend almost every single position. He has the ability to handle the ball, bring it up the court, set up his teammates for success. He can be kind of like that Draymond Green wild card player where he can kind of do some bizarre stuff. But also, we got to talk about James Harden, man. This guy woefully underperforming as a Philadelphia 76er. Now, if you look just at the surface of the box score, the spreadsheet, he has 20 points, 9 assists. All that's fine and dandy. 6 of 15 from the field. The guy can't score inside the cup, can't score beyond the arc right now either. James Harden with 3 turnovers, which honestly for James Harden, that's pretty good. But man, the Philadelphia 76ers, that injury to Joel Embiid really just blew their chances, man. It really did. But again, I'm going to say it again. If you want to come into the stream, I have pinned the link. That link enters you into the chat room. If you want to come in, come on in. I'm a message king. I'm a message Kool-Aid. I'm a message everybody. I'm going to see if anyone wants to hop in. I'm inviting King right now. But submit your questions in the chat too. Even if you don't want to hop in the stream, send me your questions. If you guys are watching the podcast, have you been seeing the content? I do have a cool thing. So Corey Woods, basketball beat writer and our Detroit Lions beat writer is going to be on the Pizza Palace this Friday. So Corey's going to come and break down the NFL draft. And everything that the Lions did. So that's going to be really fun. Also, we talk a little bit about basketball and some wrestling stuff, which I low key really love wrestling. But let me invite King just for the heck of it. But yeah, if you want to hop in here, man. How's everybody's night going? Lots of basketball to talk about. What up, though? What's going on, man? Chet equals Draymond without the nut kicking? Sounds great to me. Dude, here's the thing. He's definitely done the nut kicking at some point, though. Let's be honest. He's definitely going to have that in his arsenal. You know that, like, long, lanky guys, like, they all find a way about to kick a guy in the nuts. But again, everyone hopping in, I do have linked the link to join the stream. So if you want to hop on, debate basketball, talk about anything, this is an open forum. Be sure to click on that link. Logan Cook asks, how would you feel about signing Victor Oladipo to a cheap contract this offseason? I mean, if we're talking about bringing in guys for cheap and like reclamation projects, then like perhaps, but also like Victor Oladipo, also like at this point in his career, he isn't the youngest either. With how extensive of an injury report he has, I would imagine that Victor Oladipo is going to want to continue to play on teams that are contending. I'd imagine that he'd want to probably run it back with Miami. But I mean, if he's in play and Detroit has some leftover money, I wouldn't hate it just because we've seen what he can be at his highest. However, again, I just have doubts he can get back to being that guy. I mean, he's had some serious injuries. Even since injury, he's just not been the same player. Sometimes his scoring's been really shoddy. Sometimes his health just hasn't consistently been there. So, Victor Oladipo definitely can play, not a scrub. Wouldn't be mad if the Pistons signed him, but I just don't see him being much of a target. So that's kind of the thing. And you bring up a good point, Jalen. He says, I feel like Detroit needs an actual solid veteran, not a Corey Joseph, not Kelly Olynyk, but like Phoenix has Jay Crowder. We need someone who has experience to still contribute. Exactly. I mean, you even see like what happened in Minnesota with Patrick Beverly, even though he's a guy that like a lot of us like to clown on, or it's like, oh, it's Patrick Brown. Or Patrick Beverly. He's a clown. Like the guy helps instill a winning culture, and that team in Minnesota actually makes it to the playoffs. They're actually a couple plays away from winning that series. So you see how much of a difference it makes. And you even bring up Jay Crowder. I mean, also there's the obvious one of Chris Paul, right? You can go get a star. You can bring someone in. So, that's definitely something that's an option. But on top of that, you just look at the way the league's going. I really think another thing that you need a guy like Jay Crowder, you need long, versatile defenders. And this team needs to get longer and more athletic. You're looking around the roster, you're looking at guys like Frank Jackson, Saban Lee, where I question their long-term fit is, can they be good enough on the defensive end to justify, because they have to be damn good offensively in order to justify their roster spot. I think Detroit needs to get as long and versatile as possible, because let me tell you guys, positionless basketball is here. It is here to stay. It is here for a long time. So the way that we can build our team, the way that we could best really make this a situation that's winning and that's going to really make this franchise stay relevant for the long term is by getting guys who can defend, getting guys who can stretch the floor, getting guys who can be versatile and positionless and really don't need to be tied to a 1 or a 2. I am sending a link again. If you want to debate me or ask me any questions, click that link. Let me say it again, ladies and gentlemen, just so you hear it clearly. If you want some, come get some. That's like one of those like badass wrestling entrances. It's like you just hear the glass shatter. It's like, oh my God, Stone Cold, he's here, Stone Cold. Oh my goodness. But it looks like Miami's about to go up 2-0 in that series against Philly. What are you guys' thoughts on the Philadelphia 76ers? Do you think that they're just chalked without Joel Embiid? Personally, he's probably going to try to come back in game 3. I could see him trying to pull out the mask and trying to put some remnants of a thing together. But I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. I don't think it's good for his career. I just think for the long haul, in my opinion, he should just not play. And he should just try to bring it back next year. Now, the thing is, they have that James Harden contract coming up. There's 2 teams that have really bad contracts they're facing, and it's the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. You know, with the Nets facing the Kyrie extension, with the Philadelphia 76ers facing the James Harden extension. Those 2 teams might have to pay a lot of money for guys that just don't play a lot of basketball, and even then their best days might be behind them. We got Jalen. He asked, who do you think's winning the ship? Man, I got the Phoenix Suns still winning it all. And I understand the Golden State Warriors have looked phenomenal. I think the Gary Payton Jr. injury was a really big loss for them. I think I think the fact that Jordan Poole, he's not extremely consistent yet. That's kind of been the thing of some nights you're getting this dominant guard who looks like the third Splash brother and can explode for 40 at any given time. And then there's nights where he puts up like a quiet 14. And that's okay because you have Steph Curry and you have Klay Thompson and you have Draymond Green, you have Andrew Wiggins, you have this deep versatile roster. But again, the thing is that Phoenix is just consistently good. And it's going to be about if they can get Devin Booker back healthy and feeling good too, because it's one thing for him to be out there on the court like he was in that closing game against New Orleans where he was just being used as a decoy. It's a whole other thing when Devin Booker's going as Devin Booker and he's on the court and he's ready to attack and he can put up 50 on any given night. I think Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns, I think they're about to go and really change it. Yeah, so okay, guys, I'm gonna level with you. Because I released the podcast this morning, right? And not only in this podcast on Monday that I recorded on Monday that came out today, and the podcast I recorded on Tuesday that comes out Friday, did I make the claim that I think that the Warriors might sweep the Grizzlies? And of course, after I say that, Ja Morant scores 47 points and absolutely kicks the crap out of the Warriors and drives to the paint. How many times? 23, 25 times, and they couldn't even stop it. The Warriors looked like they just had no answer. And it makes you forget, oh yeah, that's right. This team hasn't had James Wiseman the entire year. So the Warriors have more holes than people admit that they do. This Memphis series is going to be interesting. I still think Golden State ultimately wins in 6 or 7. But man, that Memphis Grizzlies team, man, they proved anything. They're tough as hell. And it's going to be much more of a series than people give credit. Now, Dallas, I just don't think they're ready. I think that they're a good team. They're not a great team. I think that they have a lot of great pieces. I think Luka Doncic is the best player in that series, but I also think Phoenix collectively is just far superior, that the defense that they're bringing and the ultimate way that they're attacking the game, I just think it's too much for Dallas to handle. Again, if you guys want to come in, I posted the link. Be sure to hop in if you want some. Come get some. I'm here to debate anybody. Don't be shy. This is an open forum for the community. I want this to be a place where we can hang out, talk basketball, ask any questions you have. Seriously, if you want to hop in and hang out and chat, that link is in the chat. Feel free to click it. But in the meantime, I'll keep reading comments and answering questions, just like Logan Cooks has been asking, do you think Killian can end up becoming our starting guard next to Cade when we're competing in the playoffs, or do you think his ceiling is being a bench guy? So I think he can get there. I think his ceiling is definitely above a starting point guard. Like, I think he can be a good starting point guard. I think he can be a guy that can be like a 1 to 2-time All-Star in his career. But the thing is that it's about what he does with his shooting. It's about what he does with his ability to score the ball. Ashton, the trainer, shout out Ashton, my guy. I even talked to him earlier this week, and I asked him, "Hey, have you heard from Killian yet? Have you guys talked about training together at all?" He's like, "Nope, I just don't want to pressure it," which is totally understandable. I don't want to pressure either, but I just wonder. I know he's getting a lot of run this summer. I know he's going to get Americanized. He's going to really be in that system and really try to get some reps in. However, I just question what he's going to be able to do as far as developing his offensive game. Because the truth of the fact is, he has some nice things in his bag. He just needs to get better offensively. Defensively, I think he can be an all-world defender. I think he can be all NBA. Just his versatility, the way that he can defend, I see some of that bones high, or like the guys from the New Orleans Pelicans, like Herb Jones. Yeah. Like I see Herb Jones in him. I like that kind of defensive aggression, versatility. Like when Killian's at his best, truly being a dog and a fiend on that end, that's when he's at his best. Again, I posted a link in the chat. If you want some, come get some. Again, I will allow you guys to hop in and let's talk basketball. Seriously, anybody is welcome. I'm posting the link again. But someone's got a hot take for me. I'm ready to read it. I honestly think Killian can develop into a Lou Williams. He'll be able to start in 95% of NBA teams, so he's going to excel as a six-man. I don't agree with that because Lou Williams had an elite level offensive game. He was really the offensive guy that he brought in. Defensively, he could defend if need be, but he was more of a liability on that end. I would say a better description. That's not the hot take. Okay. All right. I like it, Jalen. I like it. All right. But seriously, though, in my opinion, I think he's less of like a Lou Williams. I think he's more like what a Rajon Rondo is, or like a Ricky Rubio is, where he can come into a team. He can be that starting point guard. Maybe not your permanent starting point guard, but he's kind of like your transitional guard that you bring in, like kind of like your quarterback, like Jared Goff, that kind of like mans the ship while you're getting your real quarterback. You know what I mean? Or at least, God, that's what I hope they're doing, because Jesus, I can't watch Jared Goff play football. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. Logan Cook, would you rather have Cade or Luka to build your team around? Huh. All right. I'm going to sound like a homer, but let me explain. Let me explain why I'm saying Cade. Let me explain. Luka Doncic as an offensive prospect, you cannot deny is the better prospect. Just from an offensive standpoint, his game is perhaps the most complete of a guy at his age perhaps we've ever seen. But I'm going to say Cade because I think he's a better all-around prospect when you take into the equation that he can also do it on the defensive end as well. When he stays out of foul trouble, Cade Cunningham actually was a pretty good defender. And in my opinion, I think he can get to that echelon of like a Jason Tatum or like a Devin Booker, where like they actually take that side of the ball seriously and is something that like they really implement and is a big part of their game. Also, I need someone to step up, man. I thought people were going to be hounding to get in the cage. If you want to get some, man, click on this link, bro. Come talk. I want to meet y'all, damn it. Come say hi. If you want some, come get some. Posted the link in the comments. Some of y'all have, listen, man, some of y'all have some fire takes, and I see y'all in the comments. I see y'all on Twitter. This is your chance to put a voice to it, man. This is your chance. If you want some, come get some. Jalen stepped up to the plate.
What's going on, brother?
Jalen, what's good, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm great. How are you?
Dude, doing good. Thanks for hopping into the stream, brother.
Gotcha. All right. You ready
You
for
have a hot take for me?
I got to think of how to word this.
All right.
I think Klay Thompson at this point in his career, needs to realize he's the fourth most important player on the Warriors. And he needs to take a step back and let some of the younger guys take over with Steph.
You said you had a hot take for me?
Yep.
No, I'm kidding. No, it's an interesting take. It's an interesting take.
And Jordan Poole are way more important to the Warriors than Klay.
Way more important?
Yep.
Way?
I don't know, man.
You've seen some of the offensive explosions Klay Thompson's gone on just in his time back alone, right?
You think he's still capable of that consistently?
Oh, hell yeah, he is. He's done it over and over again. Let's look at his game log since returning. Klay Thompson's put up some 20, 30-point quarters already, dude.
I love Klay Thompson. Don't get me wrong. I think Klay's a great player. But I think he needs to take one step back.
All right, Jalen, I have a question for you.
20 shots a game is a lot.
Jalen, I have a question for you.
All right.
Can you list me your top 5 shooters in NBA history?
Oh, Klay's in there for sure.
He's in there.
For sure.
So how are you telling me that a top 5 shooter of all time is barely cracking the top 4 most important player on your team?
I think he is past his prime.
Well, he could still be past his prime and still be a huge X factor for what they're doing.
If the Warriors were forced to trade one of those 4 players, who are they trading?
Forced to trade one of those players?
Yep.
I mean,
I think Klay's going first.
All right, the 4 being Steph, Poole, Klay, Draymond. I'm taking calls on Poole almost because I feel like his trade value might be the highest because of the contract he has.
Yeah.
I almost would go Poole because his contract would be the best. But listen, man, in the playoffs, he had 2 games in a row where he had 26 and 32 points against Denver, which is not a bad defensive team.
So here's what I'm saying. None of those 4 are bad options at all.
Uh-huh.
Like, not at all. Mm-hmm. But I think Klay is the least important to that team.
Why?
I feel like because he can't, create his own shot. I don't like that he can't create his own shot anymore. I don't feel like he's as good as a defender as he used to be.
I don't know. He's an underrated penetrator to the rim. He can shoot in the mid-range.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, a lot of their system is Draymond creating looks for everybody.
Right.
He creates a lot of looks for Steph. He creates a lot of looks for Jordan. He creates a lot of looks for Klay. You can say that about almost anybody on their roster.
Can't argue with that.
You can't?
Nope. Nope. You got me on that one.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's not a bad argument though. Now I will say, I think the evaluation on Klay needs to. I think Klay deserves a full season back.
Yeah.
I think Klay deserves, and not only, you got to think about it, also to have an off season where he's healthy again.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of rehabbing, he's actually working on his game. Do we all forget Blake Griffin, that season he had in Detroit where he had 50 against Philly at the beginning, where he was like a 3rd-team All-NBA player? A lot of the reason why that season happened was because Blake was healthy in the summer. He was injured like almost every year when he was playing on the Clippers. And when he got back, and then we actually just were like, how about you rest? How about you get healthy for the offseason?
How many games, I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, but how many games of those 4 for Golden State played since Klay's been back altogether? So I know it can't be a lot.
All 4 of those guys?
Yeah. Steph was hurt for a little bit.
You want to know the truth?
Yep.
It was April 16th, game 1 of the playoffs.
Was their first game altogether?
What was their first game altogether? So that's why I'm really hesitant on this Warriors team, man. These guys, Klay, Steph, and Draymond, played their first basketball together in game 1 of the playoffs.
That is kind of wild.
Since 2019.
It's a little
2019. And that entire roster is completely different.
Right.
Like, it's literally, I think Jordan Poole was in middle school the last time these guys played together. Obviously not. Obviously that's
Right.
exaggerating, but I mean,
I know what you mean.
yeah. The real question, because I'm not worried about Clay's offensive game, because that doesn't really like
No,
rely on his athleticism.
right.
My question with Clay is his defense. Can he? Because that's going to decide where he ranks in the importance. Because let's be honest, we're not praising Jordan Poole for his defense.
No,
We're not praising Steph Curry. I mean, Steph Curry's an underrated defender. He's way less of a liability than people give him credit for.
Right.
But Jordan Poole,
Clay used to stick Clay on the other team's best player, and he'd hold him to 20 points. And
Clay
then last
was
night
one
you
of
saw
the-
John Morant pointing him out. And
Clay was a top 5 defender.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In the world.
But now you got Ja hunting him on pick and rolls.
Yeah, he was a monster. So like the biggest thing, because if he can't slow down Devin Booker, that series is done.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to get in a shootout against Chris Paul.
No.
And win.
No.
Like many times at all.
Right.
Especially with those like Mikal Bridges is going to make
that team's built so well.
Oh yeah, like as far as like the type of offense, like I mean, now I will say the one thing that Golden State does have is speed.
Oh yeah.
And Phoenix is more of a bigger team. Mm-hmm. They do have some speed. Cameron Payne is a speedy guy. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, like they're versatile and long, and they're athletic. But I
Warriors
question
got that
like
1 through 5 though.
Yeah, but like if Devin Booker's on, if Devin Booker shows up, like that Devin Booker, he's the best player in that series.
Mm-hmm. No one's got a chance in that, or no one's got a chance against Phoenix if Booker's doing his thing.
And Chris Paul's like the Tom Brady of the NBA, man. The dude just won't age. It's insane.
What is he, 37?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Unreal, man. This guy's literally been playing since I was like in freaking 2nd grade.
He doesn't get enough credit for his longevity. Like
he doesn't.
Like LeBron.
He really doesn't.
LeBron gets praised for it every single day. You never hear about Chris Paul.
Yeah. Hey, we got another question we could take. Dan asks, is Casey the coach of the future for the Pistons, or is he just treading water until we upgrade the talent and dump him for someone better? So to answer your question, Dan, first of all, thank you for tuning in. Second of all, if anyone else wants some, has the balls like Jalen,
here y'all
get some, man. But to answer your question, I think Dwane Casey, I've talked to Rod, I've talked to Rod Beard, I've talked to James Edwards III about this, and the sense is that there's not, it's going to be very hard pressed to see a day where they say that they're firing Dwane Casey, because there is a lot of respect in that organization for Dwane. For one, people have to remember, and I bring this up a lot because it really is an important part of the story. Dwane Casey came to Detroit to win games. As crazy as that sounds, he came to Detroit to win. He did not come here for another rebuild. He didn't want another rebuild. However, the organization had a meeting, and they were saying, all right, well, where are we going? And Dwane Casey was in favor of the rebuild because he said this team needs it. He recognized it. And so you know what he did? He bit his lip and he committed to a rebuild. And he helped us get to the position we're at now. Say what you will about Dwane Casey, but Sadiq Bey's developed under him. Isaiah Stewart's developed under him. Killian Hayes has improved under him. Cade Cunningham had his great rookie season under him. And now you're going to have a situation where, in my opinion, he'll probably retire in the next couple of years, but I'd imagine he would have like a very similar position to John Beilein, perhaps a little bit higher up in the organization, and he would still be involved with player development in some form. What do you think, Jalen?
I think, like, if you were going to fire Dwane Casey, if you were the person going to fire Dwane Casey, and you're sitting him down, what is your reasoning? Like, you're saying, we're going to let you go, and then what do you, for what?
Yeah, what about this season said he needs to be fired? Because you look at Houston, look at all the turmoil that happened there, right? Or like with the Kevin Porter Jr., Christian Wood. Mm-hmm. Remember that situation with Steven Silas where like, wasn't there something about soup? Am I misremembering that? Like I thought there was like something about soup. I don't remember, but like I remember there was like I remember Kevin Porter Jr. stormed out.
Oh, that was with Cleveland, I think.
Well, no, there was something in Houston too.
Was there?
Yeah,
because I know
left.
that Cleveland traded him because he did something in the locker room. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something wild.
All right, hold on. All right, so he so essentially
I remember hearing something crazy about Cleveland.
Yeah, something happened, man. I remember they had to suspend. Yeah, they suspended him. So it looks like there was a locker room outburst. He left the arena in the middle of the game.
This was with Cleveland or
Houston? This was with Houston. This happened this year. So Houston Rockets have had incidents. The Detroit Pistons, really outside of the Hamidou Diallo situation, which even then after that, Hamidou came out and played better.
Right.
The team actually fought hard for him all year.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually got better as the year went on. So they showed what you want a young team to do. Because at the end, they weren't, even though we were still losing games, we weren't a pushover in almost any game. We got blown out once, twice in the second half of the year.
They'll be making a mistake if they let Hami go. And not because of his skill set, but I'm sure you remember at the very beginning of the year, he wasn't getting any minutes. And then they started giving him minutes and he was playing his butt off.
Well, it was when he committed to the defensive. It was when he committed to the defensive end. Because it was kind of I honestly think it's one of those things where he realizes it was kind of the conversation. We don't care what you do in the offensive end.
Right.
Honestly, we don't. We need guys to come in and affect winning on the defensive end. We have guys who can score, and the ball will come your way if you're playing hard on the defensive end. If you're playing in the flow of the game, offense will come, and it did.
Yeah.
Hamidou had a lot of easy buckets in transition, and a lot of cutting to the basket. But it was when he was focusing on energy and bringing that on the defensive end first. Also, if you want to join Jalen and I on the stream, if you have anything you want to bring to the table, if you want some, go get some. Click on the link.
I love it.
Also, Jalen, what do you think of the Boston the Boston Milwaukee series?
Same thing, man. I don't know.
Yeah, so
I gotta go Boston without Chris Middleton.
Yeah, if Chris Middleton doesn't come back, Jaylen Brown's the key, man.
Oh yeah.
I know he's kind of dealing with something with his hamstring right now. I know Ime Udoka kind of played it off during the game, but Jalen doesn't really look him full self. It looks like he can kind of do it in bursts.
Yeah.
But overall, he was struggling, man. So Jason Tatum, on the other hand, if he can play the way he did yesterday, especially down the stretch, how clutch he was. The thing about that game was Boston really took over at the beginning, and it almost seemed like Milwaukee was out of gas. It feels like their offense and their system relies so heavily right now on Giannis and Drew Holiday for that fact too. Drew Holiday really has to step up and be great every game in order for this team to have a chance, because Boston's that good.
Right.
And mind you, this Boston team was without Marcus Smart yesterday. They were shorthanded as well.
Right.
So it's not like that team was coming in and playing and they were playing a deep 7-man rotation as well. It was just Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams off the bench, and then just the starting lineup, and that's it.
Gosh, Pritchard always got us good when we played him.
Yeah, Jason Tatum played 43 minutes.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really. And by the way, talking about a pairing that people want to break up so badly, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the patience of them staying together and figuring it out, they look like a whole different breed, man.
I think they're they might get it this year, but I think they're one piece away from being really, really tough.
Hey, Sue, explain this one to me. How is Casey clueless? What about Dwane Casey is clueless?
I feel like the rotation Rotations comments coming.
You can give whatever assortment of minutes you want to a turd. It's
That's
still
what
a polished turd at the end of the day, man. Like, you can assort it literally however you want. Like, if you believe that, like, you can eat like a 20,000 calorie diet, and like as long as you like portion it correctly, you can eat as much as you want. It's not going to work, man. Listen, at the end of the day, this team had over $30 million in dead salary cap. This team had one of the youngest rosters in the league, and the old players that they had were veterans like Corey Joseph or Rodney McGruder, who are on the back half of their career and are just trying to contribute to young teams playing for the love of the game. This team was not constructed to win basketball games. And to blame Dwane Casey for this team going out being young, making mistakes, and not executing, I don't know what you want, man.
No.
I
don't think Steve Kerr wins more than 30 games with his team.
You could bring in Phil Jackson, fresh off the Michael Jordan dynasty, whip out the triangle like people have never seen it before. This team ain't doing a damn thing.
30 wins max.
If that. If that. It's generous. Like, they literally wouldn't change a damn thing.
No, not at all.
Jerami on the roster next season. Do you want him a part of our long-term future? So I'm not here. I'm like, like here's the thing, man. I don't be too quick to get rid of him because you don't know what's happening on the draft.
That's what
I think Jerami Grant's future will be decided on May 17th, which, by the way, we're streaming live on Wilbur Sports. It's going to be hype. But anyway, in my opinion, I think it's going to be made on that day. What do you think?
I don't disagree with that. I think it totally depends on the return you can get. If we're not getting another, I'd say, lottery pick at least, keep him.
Yeah.
Especially
100%.
Because what was the extension he wanted? It wasn't anything like wild.
It would be like I think it'd be like 4-year, 120.
Yeah.
I think it'd be about $30 million a year, which Detroit could pay him. It's not that much above what we're paying him right now. Really, the key is he going to still be effective by the time we're looking to win? Is he still going to be in his prime?
The thing with Jerami, though, is I feel like he's got the kind of game that, like, a championship caliber team will always take him on their team.
Oh, so 100%.
Makes it so we can't trade him.
Oh, 100%. So,
like, you were about, like, it's kind of evolving to, like, long, athletic, defending players. Like, that's 100% what Jerami is.
And 100%. He is the mold of the type of player you want. Like if I'm the Chicago Bulls, I'm looking at Jerami Grant. I'm saying, how can I add a guy like that to my team?
Or even like what we were just talking about with the Celtics. If you put Jerami Grant on Boston,
it'd be a perfect fit. You put Jerami Grant on Utah. You think they have a better series against Dallas?
100%.
Yeah, like that's the kind of player like they were missing. They didn't have guys who could defend on the wing or really be versatile on the defensive end. They didn't have guys who could switch and help Rudy Gobert. You have a guy like Jerami Grant in your lineup, whole different ball game on the defensive end.
100%.
Changes everything. Now, not to shamelessly plug, but to shamelessly plug. First of all, we here from Half Court are close to 1,000 subscribers. So help us get there, please. But I'm like this all the time, by the way. This isn't just like a facade I put on. This is just who I am. But Jeff and I came out with a video the other day talking about if the Pistons should draft Shaedon Sharpe. And one thing I threw out in there is, what if the Pistons ultimately decide to make the move for Shaedon Sharpe? But it's kind of like what the Lions do, right? So like the Lions, they go with Aiden Hutchinson at 2, which is the safe pick. And then with the 12th pick, they go and they make a risk, right? What if the Pistons get their safe guy, say like a Jabari Smith Jr., at the top of the draft, and then later in the lottery, they trade Jerami Grant, and then they go get Shaedon Sharpe. And you get your 2 guys, be aggressive in the draft, bring in 2 first-round picks.
Yep. I wouldn't oppose that at all.
You call up Portland and say, hey, you want him? Give me your first round pick and Josh Hart. Let's go.
Yeah. Which sucks them losing the was it the Lakers pick or Pelicans pick that they were gonna get?
I think it was the
I think it was
Pelicans.
and they didn't end up, which sucks for us, but if
Hey,
you could pull the trade off.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay, man. It's okay. The ultimate thing is I think whatever happens in the lottery, we have to be trusting and faithful that Troy Weaver knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
And that he's going to help us get to the right direction.
Right.
Again, guys, keep posting your questions, but also if you want to hop in here, be sure to hop in here. But having said that, we never gave an answer. We never gave a definitive prediction. I'm going to go Boston in 6. I think Milwaukee. Here's the tough thing. First of all, they have a couple days to rest.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're going back to the Pfizer Forum. What a weird name. My God. Anyway, they're going back to the Pfizer Forum and they're going to be playing there. And Milwaukee has a pretty darn good crowd. They have a pretty darn good home court advantage. On the other hand, Giannis, game 3, tied at 1, defending home court. There might not be a more terrifying player in existence.
I'm feeling a 50-piece, honestly.
The last memories I have, I know they played at home against Chicago, but y'all remember the man who scored 50 to close out the finals last year, right? Y'all remember that guy? The guy who I watched play and I was terrified of the entire time. I literally watched that and I just sat there. My jaw was dropped. I was just like,
yeah, it's unreal.
There's no stopping that.
There's not a thing you can do.
No, there's not. It's chalked.
Yep.
It's chalked. Grant would be a great number 3 almost anywhere. Yeah, I agree. I think he would be a perfect number 3 on a championship team. You know who else I think would be a perfect number 3? Jaren Jackson Jr. I think they need to get another star around Ja. I think
if you can get him to stop fouling.
Can you imagine Bradley Beal to Memphis? Bradley Beal, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr.
That might be a championship.
I'm just saying. Listen, if you guys need a general manager, man, all I'm saying, I'm just answering calls right now. I'm free. Just who says no?
I'll be your reference.
You'll just someone will call. Hey, I have you as a reference. You just say,
yes.
Ouch. Hang up. Just like a Twitter reply. Just ouch. Hang up. Oh my gosh. Someone bringing up Jaden Ivey might be a guy Troy Weaver wants. Here's the thing about getting Ivy. If we're at 4, I'm fine with getting Ivy. If we don't get to draft Paulo, Jabari, or Chet, and Ivy's on the board, I would take Ivy. However, it's really important and crucial that the Pistons get their wing, that the Pistons get their pick and roll partner alongside Cade. And I say again, we need someone who's long and versatile. You hear Adam Badu, draft the cocaine, suck my dick. Cocaine. Draft the cocaine. The cocaine in the NBA is a Jabari, is a Chet, is a Paulo. It's those guys who can do almost anything on a basketball court. It's the versatile wings. It's the versatile wings who can guard almost any position. That's the thing you need. The Cavaliers were able to get Evan Mobley, and he was able to come in and thrive because they had Darius Garland on their team. Whereas with us, our Darius Garland, obviously, Cade Cunningham. So we're in a situation now where we can go get our cocaine. We can go get our unicorn. We can go get our versatile Robin. And that's the thing. Now Jaden Ivey, good player. But in my opinion, I just don't think that you can build a championship just off of that backcourt. You see what happened in Portland with CJ and Dame. I think it could be very similar results, just not a super high ceiling. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they in Tribe, and you say it, if they get top 3 pick, go for Biggs, of course. But Pistons dropped out of tie 3. Oh yeah, no, he's not a consolation prize.
No.
I don't think he's a consolation prize at all. He's a guy that comes in where it's like, oh, darn, like because it's, to me, just like how last year was like a 3 prospect draft as far as like that top. It was really like Cade, Jaden, or Jalen, and Evan, who could all have been number 1 picks in their own year.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is very similar, but a top 4. I think almost any of those 4 guys could be a top pick any year.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So if we get Jaden Ivey, to me, it's not a consolation prize. Now, in my opinion, if I were to rank it, I would say he's a tier below those guys. However, again, it's very close, and he can still be a great player. And ultimately, if he's drafted by Troy Weaver, I trust it because Troy Weaver knows exactly what the hell he's doing. So, 100%.
It's hard to see the direction they're going to go until you know where we're picking.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, and the thing, too.
All the time.
Well, and the thing, too, just imagine all, like, the back room things and the deals and the things that people talk about. Like, you know, league offices might, you know, league year might not be open for business until June or July.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the phone lines are down. That doesn't mean these GMs aren't talking to each other. So I almost wonder, like, what kind of crazy deals almost happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just imagine, like, all the different dealings and things that Troy Weaver hears about or talks about on a day-to-day basis. So it's going to be interesting. Personally, what I think is going to end up happening, I think if Jalen Green, or why am I saying Jalen Green? Jerami Grant. If Jerami Grant is going to be traded, I don't think it's going to be any point other than the draft.
No.
I think it's got to be the draft, because I think at that point, I think Detroit's going to want to have that pick so that they can decide what they can do with it. Now, if they wait until the deadline and maybe there's like a player swap, maybe like at that point, Chicago decides they would trade Patrick Williams and then maybe give us some future draft capital at that point, or things that we can play around. Maybe, but again, if you're looking at like the most likely scenario, I would think it would be around the draft.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, yeah.
But it all depends on where we end up.
Now, I do want to ask this. Would you guys pay Kyrie Irving the max? If you're the Brooklyn Nets, are you extending Kyrie Irving? Jalen, not to put you on the spot. If you are Sean Marks, the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets, and Kevin Durant says, "Hey, I want Kyrie back,"
I think at that point you have to. If it's making Kyrie happy. Now, if like you're just coming to me and asking me, man, I don't know. I don't think so.
Man, it's tough.
But if KD is coming to me and saying I want him, I feel like you have to.
Right?
That's the whole reason he's there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like this was the team that Kyrie handpicked. This was the team that him and Kevin Durant were like, all right, we're going to go here together. This is going to be us. And then, man, just to see where they're at now and the way everything's transpired.
Never would have thought.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's just imagine, like, you look at how many games Kyrie Irving's played in Brooklyn. This man literally hasn't played over 60 games.
That's what I was just going to say. Has he even played a full season technically? No.
So this man, the last time he played more than 60 games was in 2018, 2019, his last year in Boston, when he played 67 games. He played 20 his first year in Brooklyn because remember he had the shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And then he ultimately elected to not go to the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he was advocating that the season should have been canceled and that the bubble shouldn't have happened. And then Kyrie plays 54 games last year. the things happen at the Capitol building. And at that point, Kyrie took a month off from the team, pretty much. And then this past year, obviously, with that Joker thing I made, all he needed to do was just get one jab. He didn't like that. That video is weird as hell, but I'm proud of it. Damn it!
You should be.
I wish we could watch it on stream, but it get freaking my channel will get copywritten strike to hell. It goes to Heath Ledger would come back and be like, "I want to know how I got these copyright claims." Oh my god!
Would it be worth it though?
Oh, absolutely it would. Yeah, it was a damn good impression. You kidding me? Jalen, thanks for being the one to hop in the cage, man.
Of course.
I was expecting more from y'all, man. I was expecting some people to come in hot. Whenever I'm in King's stream, y'all come ready to go. This
get
group,
it, y'all.
Oh, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it better, man. As episodes keep going. And you know what would also help if I started the stream on time? That would be another good thing.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. It was one of those. I was like helping my mom with something.
Yeah.
You lose track of time. You know what I mean?
Happens.
Yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us. You know what I mean? Oh man, but yeah, Phoenix is winning right now. 24-38. That's gonna be a hell of a series. I'm thinking I'm gonna end it here in a couple minutes. We're gonna plan on doing these every Wednesday at 9 Eastern. Next time it will start promptly at 9. Again, I was helping family with some stuff, so I do apologize about that, guys. But everyone that came in, let me know what you like about this. Let me know if you want to be on. Let me know what you guys want to talk about too. Before we leave, I do want to answer 2 more questions though. So if you guys have any questions that you want to throw my way, Pistons related, personal related, anything you guys want to talk about, even if it's controversial food topics, it can be anything, man. Throw it in there. Jalen, I will ask you, does pineapple go on pizza?
Absolutely not.
You go to hell.
Actually, okay. I won't say that because I've never tried it, but I'm never gonna try it.
Why? You're never even gonna consider trying it?
Never.
So let me get this straight, Jalen. If we meet up at a Detroit sporting event, and we're sitting at like the brass rail, and I buy a Hawaiian pizza, and it's bacon, ham, pineapple, and I say, Jalen, it would mean the world to me if you had this piece of pizza. You would say no.
At that point, I might have to give it a shot.
Okay, so it's peer pressure that wins.
Peer pressure.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. Carl Collins, one of my more active followers. Carl, appreciate you, man. I noticed you in my comments and liking on Twitter. I appreciate you, bro. How did you get started at Woodward Sports? So that's a good question. So, I started podcasting, about this time last year at the beginning of 2021. I started podcasting, and I was actually living in my parents' basement. I was kind of in between careers. Like I was still working at I was still working a job, but not anything I wanted to do long term. But I just kept podcasting, kept working. I wanted to, I've always wanted to do media. I've been a Detroit Pistons fan since I was 6 years old. I've been talking basketball like this since I was 7. My parents would be like, "Why do you know so much about Lindsey Hunter? You're like 8 years old. This isn't right." That's just kind of what I was. And I saw around draft time last year, actually, when they brought in Dwane Casey, was the first thing I saw from Woodward Sports was that. And I remember their draft lottery reaction video and everyone was jumping around going crazy. And I remember thinking, man, I want to work there someday. And I kept up the content grind. I started the YouTube channel back in August, actually around the same time they launched the Morning Woodward show. It was actually within a day of each other. And through that, I got in contact with Easy. It's Easy, baby. And I reached out and I was like, hey man, I just want some advice and would love to know what it takes. And, the biggest thing he told me was just to be consistent and, just keep working hard. And, and when you do that, the right people will notice. And he did. I invited him on a podcast, and afterwards he was like, "You got to have Woodward Sports in your bio, man." And so then we made it happen. And it's not like, it's not as glamorous or as, as like easy as kind of like people think it is, if I'm being honest. Starting at Woodward, my first couple of months, it was unpaid, and it was, it was writing, and it was grinding, and it was, proving myself and meeting people and networking. And now, I'm helping out with social media, doing other stuff as well. But yeah, just to be, I really can't say enough. I'm just insanely blessed to be in the spot I'm in. I appreciate every one of you that's subscribed to the channel, that's followed on Twitter, interacted, because this really is my dream. This is what I want to do. And I think we're just getting started. And having Jeff on the channel, being able to go work with my buddies Troy and Robert, and also be part of Woodward Sports, and just to have you guys as a backing too. I'm doing this, I want to make content you guys like, and I want to make content that resonates. And, I just love the game, man. And that's all I want to do, is talk about the game and tell the story of the game and have my input in it. And so, and also to rep Detroit right, because I know media outlets haven't given us the respect and love and the shine that we deserve. And so I've told this to Ashton. I'll tell this to Cade when I meet him one day. I'll tell this to everybody, man. If they won't give us our due time, I will. And that's what it's all about here, man. Yeah. So it's been a hell of a journey, man. But I'm telling you, if you put in the work and are just consistent with it, and you just focus on how you can get better every day, whether it's through thumbnails, whether it's through learning an editing trick, whether it's getting better on the microphone, being more comfortable in camera, whatever it is, if you focus on being better every day, man, you can be in the position I'm in. I'm not the most talented guy, but I am one of the hardest working. I will say that. I just want to work. So I love doing this. I love all you guys who follow, and I love making content, man. So shout out Easy, shout out Adam, Jeff, everyone at Woodward Sports. Great people, man. I'm telling you. A lot of grinders there too. They work their asses off. All right, let's do another question. Megatron Sith, which is an actual super dope nickname. Actually sounds like a really cool, like death metal Calvin Johnson band that he did post career. But do you think Detroit have the next Tatum Brown tandem? Ooh. Well, who's the Jaylen Brown? That's my question. We got Tatum. We got him. We need to go get that Jaylen Brown. I mean, if you think it's Killian, then no. If you want my honest opinion, and I think we just got to be honest with what Killian can be, right? If he can be a true Holiday level defender, but at least like a New Orleans Pelican Lonzo Ball level offensive player, anybody in the league would want that, right? But he's not going to be this offensive superstar. The James Harden comparisons, just because he could do a step back one time, I hated that crap, man.
I'm guilty.
Dude, it was like, guys, like, I get that, like, guys can do moves and it makes them look like a player in the league, but like, Jaden Ivey's not John Morant. Killian Hayes is not James Harden.
I remember right when we drafted him, I watched his highlights and I said that exact same thing. I said, he kind of reminds me of James Harden.
Yeah, you see the step back, he shoots with the left hand. It's a trap, man. Because you're like, who does that in the league? It's like, well, it's James Harden.
James Harden, one of the best forwards ever.
Yeah, he's really Rajon Rondo with a more flashy. He's like Rajon Rondo with a more flashy shooting package in 2K. He's like the kid that spent all his VC on cool animations and not skill upgrades. You know what I mean? So like, he's gonna suck, but he's gonna look cool doing it.
He's gonna look nice.
That's me. I love Killian. I do have a lot of faith in him, but I think they got to find their Jaylen Brown.
I agree.
Sadiq is a hell of a player, but Sadiq isn't good. Like, he's going to be in my opinion, I think he could be an all-star, but he's more like a Chris Middleton type of all-star, where like, he's great at his role. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But with that,
Sadiq's not going to make the all-star game every year, but he's going to make a couple.
Yeah, 100%. Dallas just got their first lead of the series, by the way. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter of game 2. Dallas just got their first lead the entire series. That's how good Phoenix is, man. They're gonna take and here's the thing. You look, I saw a stat breakdown of what teams' records would be like if games ended after the third quarter. You know what was interesting?
Let's hear it.
Utah had the best record in the league, and Phoenix would have been 7th in the West.
Jeez.
But you know what the difference is? Phoenix steps up in the fourth. Phoenix in crunch time gets it done. You want to know why? Because they have Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. Man, that's a special team.
Yeah.
Someone asked. I saw someone ask, would you take a swing at DeAndre Ayton if he's available? Hell yeah, I would. But here's the thing: you got to bring him in on a max contract. Do you want to bring him in on a max contract? That's a lot of money, man. Do you want to commit a max contract to a big this early in your rebuild?
But that's back to like what we were saying. You can't really answer that until you know where we're picking.
It's true. But would any of those guys, like Chet would play the 4, Jabari would play the 4. So like you could still make the argument that you could go after those guys, you know?
Right. I feel like at that point though, I would rather go after, I know you guys have said it a lot, like a Mitchell Robinson. A cheaper, same kind of idea.
I'm gonna be honest too. I think we're giving up on Isaiah Stewart a little too early. I think people are forgetting that he's young and has room to grow too.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the ability to be a really good switching defender. I also think that he just needs more time. Now, I do think he could be best right now in an off-the-bench role. But people forget, man, the Ben Wallace era, it didn't matter how small Ben Wallace was. I'm not saying Isaiah Stewart's Ben Wallace, but he's tough as hell. And if we can get a guy like a Jabari Smith and a Chet Holmgren, that solves a lot of our issues on the rim protector side of things.
Right.
So I'm just saying Isaiah Stewart makes a lot of sense on a basketball court.
Because what is Isaiah Stewart 6'9"?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Draymond.
He's still built though.
You see Draymond do it.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, Draymond. I mean, Draymond's a whole different beat. He's like,
that's what I'm saying.
He's honestly, he's a lot. He's the Dennis Rodman of today.
Yeah.
He's like if Dennis Rodman also had extreme playmaking ability too.
Mm-hmm. But you can see that it can be done though. Is kind of the point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. He's the template of what can be done.
Right.
Exactly. Well, Jalen, before we get off stream, shout out your socials, man. Where can people follow you, my guy?
Oh gosh, I gotta look at it. I don't even.
You don't know your socials?
No,
this man, I put him on the platform. I give him the pedestal to share his Twitter. This boy doesn't even know his own Twitter. No, Jalen, are you there?
No, I'm back. I had to check at it. The only thing I really use is Twitter, and it's just Motorcade News.
Motorcade News. All right, follow my guy, Motorcade News on Twitter. Be sure to follow myself at Sean F. Court. Be sure to follow our Twitter, FH Court Pod. But also, may I remind you, not to be shameless or anything, but guys, all I'm saying, we are close to 1,000 subscribers. And we can get there, man. I have faith. Share with your friends. Be sure to like the videos. The podcast came out today, too. Don't show my numbers. But if you like the podcast, be sure to like this video, man. Be sure to share with your friends. We're gonna be doing this next week. Be ready, man. Hop in. It's gonna be open forum every week. I welcome any challenger on any topic, man. If you want some, come get some. Jeff Iafrady will be on the show next week, too. He's going to be on it with me moving forward. So this is only going to get crazier, man. All I'm saying, bring the heat. Guys, I need more people like Jalen to step up. Again, if you want it, come get it, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch you next time from Half Court. Be sure to subscribe.